All right, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakutash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And this is Sid Shalom to all the Ankim out here that's doing and pushing this work in truth and in sincerity. I want to go on this video, okay, is serving the Lord easy, okay? And, it's from ChatGPT, okay? Says yes and no, right? It says easy in one sense. Serving the Lord is easy because it is right, it is life-giving, and it's purposeful. Okay, Yahweh Shah said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Matthew 11:30. It says, meaning when you walk in Yahweh Shah's will, you're no longer fighting against your design. You gain direction instead of confusion, which is nothing but confusion in this place, that we live in. Okay. This is, called Babylon the Great. Okay. And, a lot of people, we want to get a scripture on that, about the confusion, but a lot of people lack direction. Okay. It says hope instead of despair, peace of conscience, a clear purpose for your life. Okay, in that sense, serving God is simpler than living for the world, which constantly shifts and that is never satisfies. It says hard in another sense, serving the Lord is not easy on the flesh. Yahweh Shah also said, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross in Luke 9:23. It says, that means you will be tested. You will be misunderstood. You may be opposed, mocked, or pressured. You must unlearn worldly thinking. Okay, and part of learning, okay, a major part of learning is unlearning as well. Okay, unlearning certain, bad habits that, we may form. Okay. It says Paul confirms this, all that will live godly in Yahweh Shah shall suffer persecution. So it's not comfortable, but it is worth it. Okay, and a lot of, people out here, they just want to hear the smooth things. They just want to hear the nice things inside of the scriptures. But there's good, there's bad, and there's ugly when it comes down to the scriptures and applying them. Okay? You're not just everything ain't always gonna be peaches and cream in this faith. Okay? That's just how the Lord set it up. Okay? It says, why is still better than the alternative? The world promises ease, but delivers bondage. God, which his name is Yahweh, and his son name is Yahweh Shah, asks for obedience, but gives freedom. Okay? So this world, things may seem, easy and comforting in this world, okay? A life without the Lord, okay? That might seem easy to certain people, but those people really are in bondage, okay? To whatever it is that they can't escape from, okay? Serving the Lord allows you to break that bondage, okay? It says sin looks easy at first, but it leads to regret and death. It's Romans 6:23. Serving Yahweh Shah requires discipline, but it leads to life and peace. Okay? It says, the truth in one sentence, serving the Lord is hard for the flesh, but easy for the soul. Okay? Now, the scripture, 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, it says, there has no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But Yahweh Bashem Yahshua is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. Okay? So the things that we go through, other people commonly go through. Okay? And it's nothing, new. Okay? It's nothing different. Okay? Even other brothers go through it. You might think that it might be unique to you. In some cases, it might be, but, trust and believe the experience that certain brothers go through. You best believe that, there's somebody who probably went through it. Okay. And they can expound on it through wisdom that the Lord is the one who got them through it. Okay. Now I'm going to read this in the Amplified version. It says, no temptation, regardless of its source, has overtaken or enticed you that is not common to human experience, nor is any temptation unusual or beyond human resistance. But Yahweh Shem is faithful. Yahweh Shem is faithful to his word. He is compassionate and trustworthy, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability to resist. But along with the temptation, he has in the past and now and is now and will always provide the way out as well, so that you will be able to endure it without yielding and will overcome temptation with joy. Okay, so you got the Lord on your side, he makes it easy. Okay, and that's one of the things that we, have to realize, trusting in the Lord with all our heart. Okay, no doubts. Okay, Galatians 4:7, it says, wherefore thou art no more a servant, but a son. And if a son, then an heir of Yahweh through Yahweh Shah. Okay, so serving the Lord, right? Which that's the question, right? Is serving the Lord easy? Right? This scripture says that you're not a servant, no more a servant, but a son. We come into this thing, we're likened unto sons. Okay? And the Lord loves his sons. Okay? Those who he correct, he loves. Okay? When you look at the correction, what we go through, he gets us through it so that we can be more wiser. Okay? And we don't want to have to go through this stuff anymore. So that's one thing we got to keep in our mind too. The Lord will put those new, laws into us, the laws into our, new body, I should say. It says, howbeit then, when you knew not God, you did service unto them, which by nature are no gods. Okay? Some people, went and got Caesar Borgia tatted on them. Some people got things tatted on their face and all that stuff, man. They did a lot of, crazy things, But, I should say, they got crosses tatted and stuff like that, It was serving God, they thought that they were serving, gods, It says, but now, after that you have known God, or rather are known of God, how turn ye again to the weak and beggarly elements whereunto you desire again to be in bondage? Okay? And that's one of the things that the Lord woke you up, right? We know the Lord, Lord willing, we have the elect, right? Why would you want to go back to the things that we just got freed from? Okay? And a lot of people, they want to go back to, the bondage, because this is what makes them feel at ease. Okay? This is what makes them feel comfortable. Okay? This is what they think is their rest. So they, anytime that something comes and threatens that rest, you know, is the Bible, you know, is looked at in a negative way when we bring it out, you know, because they don't want to hear what, you know, what the word says, you know, and this goes for people that's even in the faith or call themselves in the faith, you know. We tell them of certain things, and you know, some Jake can't receive it, and then here they are. But hey, Jake will be the top guy on their job though, you know. They're clocking for Esau, you know, but when it comes down to the Lord and doing what the Lord wants, Jake don't want to do that, you know, because it's not easy to Jake. You know, Jake, you know, why I gotta give tights, you know, why I gotta, you know, do my videos and stuff like that, you know, why I gotta teach other brothers, you know, why I gotta be considerate, you know, why I gotta not be a nigga, you know, why I gotta be in order. These are things that, you know, Jake hate order, man. Jake really hate the Lord. Okay? Why you gotta be a brother? Oh, it's a long list, man. You know, because Jake think that this truth is hard, you know, or things in this truth are hard, you know, and those are simple things, you know. Um, you know, don't talk about losing somebody, losing a loved one and stuff like that, you know, which isn't, you know, easy on the flesh. But some Jake, you know, they you know, they lose it, you know, because they don't really be trusting in the Lord like that. Okay? So serving the Lord is supposed to be easy, you know, if you really, you know, turn into him with all your, you know, your mind. Okay? Then it's like, where else you wanna go? You know? So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to say shalom until next time.